Hello everyone, I'm Bai. I'm e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend. And today I'm very excited because I'm talking about how to make more money with your email marketing. It's not going to be a silver bullet, but it's patching up the gaps that could bring in additional revenue, and that's what we want. This is exactly why we do email marketing. So who am I again? As I said, I'm e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend. I have over 7 years in e-commerce. I've been in marketing over 9 years altogether. And I also have a degree in behavioral economics. So that's perfectly capturing my fascination with technology, data, and merging that with social sciences. So I'll be dropping in some little nuggets as I go along from that expertise as well. A couple of things to know before we begin. This session is being recorded, and you will receive the recording in a couple of days in your inboxes. We will include all the slides and all the resources that we are about to share. And also at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A tab. So please use that to leave me questions. As I go along, I will be pausing just to review them, and then I will either answer them in the moment, or we will keep those for the end. We also have a customer support team in the chat. They're real people, so be nice and patient. They'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have in general, or you might need help with anything else. So let's begin. Today's agenda, we're going to start by getting on the same page by discussing differences between campaigns and workflows. And once we get in that mindset, I will share the overlooked opportunities in email marketing. As I said, certain gaps that you might have, that patching those up could bring in additional revenue for your business. I'm also going to share a little bit about leveraging lifecycle segmentation. And at the end, I'm going to share a tactical toolkit that you can always come back to when it comes to assessing your email marketing strategy or thinking, what is not quite working for us? And then you can start there to help with that. And as I said, we're going to have some time for the Q&A at the end. So if there are any questions at the end, I'll give you a moment to type those out, or you can just ask as you go, and then we will decide whether to answer those in the moment or at the end. Alrighty, so let's go. So I wanted to start by getting us on the same page. What are campaigns and what are workflows and how do they compare? So campaigns are a one-off event. It's usually promotional or informational email message that is sent manually. It's created manually as well, and it's either scheduled or sent immediately. Then it's not triggered by user behavior. It's all you. You decide, you send it out. Workflows are running continuously. Those have predefined logic, so it could be conditions, it can be you deciding whether you're sending emails first, then SMSs, you're deciding delays, etc. It's also behavior-based personalization. Someone does something or doesn't do something, so then you put them through that automated workflow that you have. And again, it's event-triggered. So something either happens, your customer either does something or doesn't, and they go into your workflow. And I wanted to bring your attention to the power of automation and why I will be focusing on it today so much. Because according to Omnisend research, automated emails generate almost 40% of email-driven sales, while only representing a small portion of only 2% of total sends. I chose this illustration with one of our Omnisend clients, where they're sending just around 5% of automations, and the rest of their sends are campaigns, but yet automations are generating almost half of their yearly revenue. So if you're still doubting about automations, I guarantee you can set the main ones up today, and then you'll start seeing results. So the most common automations are welcome series and abandoned carts. If you don't have these set up, then we will link a webinar in our chat and we will add it to our email where we go through these main automations, set those up, and then come back to this webinar because welcome series and abandoned carts, they generate about 80% of revenue that come from your automations. So if you don't have those set up, better hurry because you might be losing lots of revenue. But let's not miss out on other opportunities. And that's what we're focusing on today. So let's dive in. And again, you will receive the recording, you will receive the slides, and you can always come back to this webinar, see what else you could do and add today. And if you have any questions, drop those in the Q&A tab. I will make sure to pause after each section to review them. So the first one is forgotten gem that I absolutely love and I will never shut up about is the product abandonment flow. So it's twice less popular than abandoned checkout, but they generate around the same amount of revenue. And how it's triggered is store visitor, they browse your products and then they leave without adding anything to the cart. And if they, at some point, if they left their email with you, we can use cookies to send them an email and a reminder, hey, you probably forgot this product. So a lot of stores that I audit, they don't have this set up. And I really, really recommend at least trying it out. And also using personalization here. Because when people add items to their cart, they usually have thought of it a little bit longer. So they remember what they added. But if they just browse something, it's very likely they probably forgot it. Like I'm guilty of that. I probably should be working, but I'm browsing. Or something happened, I got distracted, and I left the browsing session. And then I get an email with the product name in the subject line. And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, I looked at that product. Maybe I should check it out again. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, will that not overwhelm my subscribers? Like they're getting my campaigns, maybe they're in other automations. And the best thing is at Omnisend, when you're setting up automations, there is that frequency setting, which allows you to decide when and how often people get pulled into those workflows. So if you're not sure if you have that set up or how to use it, then definitely contact our customer support team and they will guide you through the process. But again, don't worry, like if you set up automations, you can definitely have workarounds to make sure that people don't get overwhelmed with your emails. And then pro tip is definitely utilizing push notifications, especially for product abandonment. It's simply if people haven't closed their session yet and they have your tab open, you can send them a little reminder being like, hey, did you like that product? Head back. And you don't even have to offer a discount that often because it's simply reminding people that they were looking at that item. So definitely recommend trying it out, adding it to your automations. And again, if you have any questions for customer support, just contact them. They'll guide you through this. Then I always make sure that my customers, they have set up their free shipping reminder. Most businesses and most stores, they offer free shipping. Some just offer it by default on all orders. Some have thresholds that have to be met. So I highly recommend just having a split in your automation for abandoned cart or abandoned checkout, telling people, hey, you qualify for free shipping. Take advantage of that. Or having another split for people who haven't met the threshold, being like, hey, you're so close, you can get free shipping. So just enticing people to use it. And for those who need to meet the threshold, I really recommend trying our product recommender feature. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but you simply add this product recommended to the email and show the person the products they have browsed, and then people then don't have to think about, hey, what have I looked at before? What else can I buy? You are showing them what they browsed before, and usually it works really well because people think, oh, I'll just add that item then and get free shipping. And if you have free shipping by default on all orders, I still recommend talking about it in the abandoned cart emails. I recommend A/B testing, adding it to the subject line, saying, hey, you left this behind, you also get free shipping, or only mentioning free shipping for orders or potential orders that are a little bit lower value. Because sometimes, especially if you're selling lower priced items, people think, oh, if I'm only spending $30, then I'm not getting free shipping. But if you tell people that they do get it, people are more likely to convert. So if you have free shipping, definitely take advantage of it in your automations. Alrighty. And now we will move on to the post-purchase flow. And I think this is where the most opportunities are, because this post-purchase flow is activated once people have bought from me. So they're still in that mindset where they remember your brand, hopefully, where they just bought and they're like more likely to buy even more, or they're more perceptive to your messages that you're sending, even if it's just the know-how emails. They don't mind it that much. So most brands that I audit, they have some sort of post-purchase flow, but they usually tend to be like a thank you email and then something very generic, if that. So I wanted to spend some time here today just focusing on what you can add and take these just as frameworks and ideas and then adapt it to your business as well. So the post-purchase flow key characteristics, or my expectations for it when I'm setting it up, are, first of all, it manages customer experience. So we're not in a physical store. How else can we create that brand experience? What will people think about our brand after buying from us? So that's where email comes in, and it's very powerful here because you're sending people shipping notifications. You can send them how to use information. You are communicating to them, and this is that opportunity to create that welcoming environment to, especially for people who are buying from you for the first time. You're managing that experience, and it's better sometimes to over communicate than not to communicate enough. Another characteristic is that it builds loyalty and trust. Or I want my emails and I check them against, do they build loyalty and trust? And here are two psychological, I don't want to say tricks, but tips that why and how these emails build loyalty and trust. So first of all, it provides that positive reinforcement effect. Because when we buy, there's usually that buyer's remorse right after we pay. Even if I had the money for it, even if I really wanted it, there's something after that purchase that goes, should I bought it that? Why did I buy it? And it happens at varying degrees, but post-purchase flows allow us to fix that before it causes problems and reassure our customers that they made the right decision. And then another part of this is that post-purchase flows, they help to build habits. And the way it happens is not me being naive, but it gives people a nudge to use the product. And I'll share some examples later how that can happen. But if people are actually using your product, you are technically incorporating your brand into their life. And if they use your product often and they go to it, then they have loyalty to you. And even if they find something at the same price range and very similar to what you sell, they're more likely to stick with you. So that's why I always make sure that there's at least one email that helps with that to build loyalty and trust. And also post-purchase flows, they allow for natural upsells and cross-sells. It's not you being pushy and telling them, buy from me, but you're actually being of service because you tell them, hey, you just bought this and you know what else goes with it to make even more out of this product that you bought, and you show them how to do it. So again, it's like a waiter coming over to your table and asking, is everything okay? Would you like anything else? So do not miss this opportunity. And post-purchase flow is where people are still in the mindset of buying from you, especially if it's their second and the third purchase. So I want to share a blueprint where I usually start if there's nothing set up, or where I would recommend brand starting if there's nothing out there, or if you want to revise your workflow as well. So this is what I would do with the first order post-purchase email flow. So you have order fulfillment or order confirmation email that goes out. So order confirmed, order fulfilled. And then in a week or two, depending on your product and how long we need to understand and to start using your product, after that time, I have a mindful check-in. And it's very important because it allows you to get feedback from your customers. It allows you to fix if something is wrong. And then in about 2 weeks, or again, whenever it's appropriate, I will send out a reminder to reorder. And the best thing is, like, most of the products, they can be reordered. You just need to find the right angle with your customers and your product. And then, of course, there's opportunity for upsells and cross-sells that should be taken off. And this is just a blueprint if I don't know where to start. Again, you can adapt it to your business, A/B test things, and find the one that works for you. And I would use a similar one for the second and the third purchase, but right now we're focusing on that first one. So let's dive into the pro tips and missed opportunities. One of the biggest overlooked opportunities that I see when I audit emails is transactional emails in post-purchase flows. So definitely take the opportunity to monetize them, because I think the open rate is about 70% for the transactional emails. So people will be opening those. Make sure you take advantage of it. So why use them? To talk about anything else but the order. So you're reinforcing your brand promise. Shout out to our customers. This is one of their emails. And when they're sending out it, they say, we're thrilled to bring a touch of luxury and creativity into your space. So you're getting people excited about their order again. Again, you're leaning into that buyer's remorse that they might be having doubts. Or like, I don't know, I really wanted it, but what I'm going to do with it. You're reinforcing your brand promise and why they bought the product. Then you're also assuring the customer you have received their order and will continue communicating. This is so important because a lot of the times I see people getting an email, or like I get an email myself, and it's just like, hey, got your order, and that's it. But like in this example as well, they say, we will keep you updated every step of the way. So I know that I will receive an email once when my order is on the way, and anything else, the brand will communicate with me. Then it also makes sure your transactional emails, they make it easy to contact customer support. So as in this email, at the bottom they say, got questions, need any help, just reply to this email. So again, you're giving people a very easy way to communicate to your brand. They can just reply and you will reply back. So definitely lean into these best practices. And this alone is also already improving your brand experience. A great success case that we had with one of our brands, Rachel Riley, they're a British brand and they make kids clothing, and they also sell to the royal family. They're really cool. But what they did when they moved to Omnisend, they leaned into the personalization features that we had. And one of them is what I already mentioned, is the product recommender. So adding it to your transactional emails, when people are more likely to open those emails, and they're still in the buying mindset more often than not, you can A/B test it, experiment with this a little bit, see what works best for your customers. But you can include sections like best-selling products. So these are really, like best-selling products are really good for the post-purchase flow for the first email. So if someone doesn't really know your brand yet, you can show them the best-selling products. That always works, kind of like a social proof element in your email. If it's someone's second, third, or so on order, then I recommend trying personalized recommendations, because you can show them products that are similar to their past purchases. And as humans, we tend to buy similar things. You know, you have your personal style. There are probably items that are very similar. Like I'm guilty of having 5 black t-shirts that are identical to some, but very different to me. So if someone's showing similar products to what I purchased in the past, I'm probably gonna at least check them out. You can also experiment with showing products that contact recently viewed. So maybe if the order value was a little bit on the lower side, then try sending them to an email that shows products that the contact has recently viewed, because they might want to add it to their order as well. And I will share one brilliant example of how you can incentivize them to add more. So another thing that I would like to bring to your attention, maybe it might sound almost superficial probably, but make your transactional emails spark excitement. Okay, so people just spend money with you. We spoke about the buyer's remorse. They might be like, I'm sure, should I have bought it? Should I not? But your design alone, because that initial take-in of the visuals, that's where it happens. The design, the colors, what are you telling your customers? That is very important. Those impressions matter. So I would, if you don't have in-house designers, go on Fiverr, go on other platforms, find a freelancer, and just make sure transactional emails look the part and spark excitement. And then if someone is buying from you for the second, third, fourth, or 10th time, why don't delight them? Use that opportunity to surprise them in that email, saying like, hey, we packed this extra thing for you just to say thank you. And that already just sparks more joy in that person and hopefully more excitement to receive their parcel. So definitely recommend trying that out. Okay, next part that I think is so crucial in your email automations, and it's a mindful check-in. And why should you add this to your post-purchase flow? First of all, it's an excellent quality control way. People will tell you if something's not working. Like, if it's definitely broken, they will let you know immediately. But if they're not happy with it, maybe they don't know how to use it, maybe something is just off and they can't quite name it, they can use this opportunity to tell you. And also, which I think is even more important, it prevents people from venting in your review section. When you keep people in that ecosystem of your emails, you can fix problems for them. You can talk to them, take care of it. And, any bad sentiments, those will be contained and you'll have happy customers on the outside. Because it's really tiring and it requires a lot of effort. Once you find the bad review on platforms like Trustpilot or Google Shopping or somewhere else where people are clearly unhappy with your product, and then you have to trace them down. Who is this customer? Then you have to contact them, hope they reply to you. Then you can fix the problem for them, but then you have to ask them to update the review. And that's very tiring and time-consuming. So having this mindful check-in in your email, I think it's so valuable, and I would definitely add it to your flow. So it can be just simply asking, how did you like it? Give people an option to choose from 1 to 5. You can have a survey, as in this example, which I really love, one of our brands, AOV. You ask people to take a survey, offer them store credit if they complete it. And that little incentive, it can go a long way. So definitely implemented my advice. Then teach them about what they bought. Don't assume they know how it works. You need to guide them. And if you're selling apparel or clothing and you're like, what? Like, don't they know how to put a t-shirt on? Tell them how to style it. Share exciting ways to put outfits together using, of course, your clothing, but maybe sparking some interest by just showing influencers if you have them, or maybe you and your team can do that little fashion show, just styling the product and show them and how to wear it different ways and get them excited to receive that parcel. Okay. These examples that we have here, kudos to our partners, Sweatpants Agency. This is from one of their clients, and it's a subscription business. So it's even more important to tell people how to use it and what to expect from that product. And again, people already forgot what they ordered, so you're just getting them excited to use it. Or maybe if you send it a week or two after, it's still great because, people might get excited to use the first few days, or like they wear it once or twice, then they forgot about it, and then you send them some styling tips. So it's definitely worth experimenting with the right content and what you're sending, but just keep people inspired. Again, building habits and helping people to really incorporate your brand into their lifestyle and everyday life. Then you can tell them what to expect and how to take care of their products and how to use them products using your FAQs. Another great example from AOV And some useful tips, I'm pretty sure they came from customer feedback and most common issues that might have with their product, because they're selling indoor gardens, so you can grow your own herbs and other things. So you take your FAQs and then just turn those into tips. So you're being helpful and also avoiding people's disappointment and managing, again, their experience here. Another example from my wonderful clients is they send candle scent, and they are talking in this email to their audience. Those people are most likely thinking about their space and taking care of it and creating that ambience. So this email, even though it might look a little bit plain with just the text, it's actually giving space, from my perspective, for people to imagine using their product. And as it says in the steps, it says, prepare your container. Okay, so I'm thinking, what should I use? And start visualizing using that product. So again, experiment. Maybe this format would work best for your products. And also show them what to expect. This is another way of how to use your product. But just remind them, okay, if it's easy with consumables or if it's supplement brands, you tell them, hey, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in, this is what to expect. But also, sometimes just literally showing what's coming their way. So if you're selling clothing, maybe your website stores are more like people wearing it. But in these emails, you can show them unpacking gifts or again, just like very nice, stylish shots and just getting people excited about their parcel. That's the goal. So to summarize this section, the pro tips and missed opportunities in post-purchase flow, use these transactional emails to increase lifetime value of your customers. Lean into product recommender. People are opening these emails. Take advantage of it. Check in about your customer's experience. So important to not just let them know that they would be heard, but also you're collecting that important data of how happy are people with your product? Should anything be fixed, improved? Is there an immediate thing that you can fix for your customer to avoid any disappointment or bad reviews? Or most importantly, refunds as well. Teach your customers about what they bought. So even if it's something as basic as a t-shirt, just tell them what material is it made of, how to take care of it, how to style it. You should envision how your product will be used if you don't have that data. And if you've been around for a long time, you should know how your customers use your product as well. And talk to to others. And again, show them what to expect. People probably ordered something and forgot about it. So just show them what to expect, what's coming their way. Get them excited. Okay, just checking if there are no questions. All good. And now we're going to dive into the cross-sells and upsells. So first of all, again, just wanted to get on the same page. What are upsells and cross-sells in terms of email marketing? So upsells usually involve upgrading to a pricier version of a product. So the way I see it, the true upsells in that nature happen at checkout because you can control that environment. Someone bought something from you, you can tell them, hey, what about upgrading? And then the final order will be that upgraded version. But with upsell emails, people have already bought it and left that checkout environment. So with the emails, the way I see it, upsells increase average order value or the order value overall. And it doesn't matter what the person adds to their additional order. It's just increasing that order value. Cross-sells, they target selling related items. So what that means is someone bought something, a laptop, and then you sell them complementary items to that. Maybe they need a mouse, maybe they need a stand, maybe they need any other item to go with that. So you're helping them kit it out essentially and get them complementary items to what they already bought. But both aim to increase the lifetime value of a customer. So one example that I really wanted to share with you about upsells, or as we call it here, is the post-purchase bump. Again, one of our customers, they use this method, and it works really well for their audience. And you could try it out as well. So what happens is people place an order, and then 30 minutes later, they get an email suggesting them to, they're offering them a discount on their next order if they order within a certain time frame. So people can look at what they bought, add the product recommended to your email, show them what they viewed before, and give them a discount. And if you can, promise to combine those orders together so people then have to think about, okay, so I ordered that, will they come together, will they come separately? If you can make a promise that is going to be one parcel, people are more likely to convert in those cases. But again, 30 minutes after the order, people get additional discount. Hey, if you buy more, you get additional discount. And it could be anything between 3 to 10%, whatever you feel comfortable as a business. And in the same flow, 3 days later, they also send a discount for that order. You can experiment by increasing, decreasing the discount, see what works for you, and how do you get the most out of it. And then 6 days later, they have the final email with a discount or another proposition. So as you can see, the upsell emails, they can go a little bit longer than just half an hour after the order. And if you look at the numbers, even 6 days later after the order was placed, they're still making revenue here as well. So if that works for your business, see if you can try it and just A/B test it with your customers. Then another example of the cross-sell automation, and I really like this example because it combines 2 points. So first of all, they're asking their customers, how did you enjoy your recent purchase? Again, opportunity to, it can be an open-ended question, rhetorical. If people are not happy, they will reply to this email and they will let you know. So you're showing you caring, you're asking how they liked it, you acknowledge what they bought, and then you suggest complimentary items. And then at the end, if you would like, again, not necessary, you can test this approach, offer them a discount, and see how that performs. This is another example by one of our wonderful customers. They're a stationery brand, but they have very clear branding and tone of voice, and they're really leaning into it, and they're talking to their audience. And I love this because once people buy a journal, you just ask them, a journal without accessories is practically a rough draft. And then in their email, they upsell different items to go with the journal. First of all, they sell pens, and I love that they also take the opportunity to include social proof. And then the email goes on with a couple more suggestions. But the most common thing is you buy a new diary, a new journal, you buy a new pen, right? And then maybe you're buying other things. But it's really leaning into it, and it's an excellent cross-sell example here. Another cross-sell from the same customers is, again, for the diaries, but trying a different approach, still using their brand voice. And what I like about, or like more what I weigh against the good cross-sell email is it of service to your customer? Because cross-selling is you being of service to your customer, you helping them to make the most out of your products and your brands. It's not just throwing everything at them and being like, buy, buy, buy. So that's why, again, these examples are really great because they lean into the brand as tone of voice and they're being really helpful. You bought a journal, of course you want to add something to it. And that goes along with their customer journey as well. And always include social proof. Another excellent example, you'll be hearing me saying excellent a lot. Thank you so much to all our customers who volunteered their email samples. I really love it. And AOV, again, they're being very clever about their post-purchase flow, because if you're growing your own herbs, you're gonna use it, right? So they're leaning into the fact that you usually have to keep your people excited and your customers excited about using your product, because first month, first 2 months, if it's all the same, it becomes a little bit for most people. So giving those little nudges to use your product differently or just suggestions of how to use it differently, you can, for example, in this case, you're suggesting them how to use the product differently, keeping the excitement going, giving a good recipe. Definitely invest in good photography. Like, definitely those visuals really help with this. And then at the end of each of their post-purchase flow emails, they add these two options. Where they ask, do you need a refill? Because maybe someone saw a recipe and they thought, okay, I will make this. And then they realize they don't have enough herbs. So maybe they do need a refill. But maybe they're ready to buy something else and try other things. So you give them an option to discover new seeds. So I think this is really clever design. And if I were you, maybe snatch it and incorporate it in your post-purchase flows. See what can be refilled or restocked, and maybe suggest trying something new, and then lead your customer through one or the other journey. Then one other item that I really wanted to bring your attention to is replenishment reminder flow. So ask yourself, do you have items that could be reordered again and again? And most of you definitely have them. You just need to find the right angle of how to position it as an item that could be reordered. Again, if it's a t-shirt, maybe 3 months later, you can just ask people, would you like a refresh, a fresh start? And just suggest them new colors or new materials in that same style, or suggest something new. So again, you could have a replenishment flow, but it's not technically a replenishment. It's more like showing just a nudge to reorder the item, even if it's a t-shirt. And at Omnisend, we have this awesome feature. So if you don't have this replenishment reminder set up, you can do it today. Literally, it will take you 5 minutes, 10 maybe, if you're smart about your copy. And just activate it today. And there's an option to trigger retrospectively. Meaning if there are still customers who would fall into the time frame for that replenishment reminder, then they will get the email when it's due. So you're not just setting it up for your future customers, you're setting up for those eligible customers who already bought from you. And if you're not sure how to set it up or anything, contact our customer support team. They will make sure to help you to activate everything correctly, and you'll have it up and running soon. And also, we will link a webinar in the chat. I can see that Baka already did it, about subscription brand mindset. So again, if you don't think that you have this product that could be reordered or replenished, think again. And I really encourage you to watch that webinar just for the mindset exercise as well. And here's again another excellent example from ARC. And they're talking about, hi, your nutrient capsules may need to be replaced or refilled soon. So I'm sure, again, working in e-commerce for so long, I know that sometimes people buy products, they don't really pay much attention of certain parts if it's something less straightforward. So I would assume that some people forget that they have nutrient capsules and that they need to be changed as well, or how often should they be changed. So I love that the brand is reaching out to them and being like, hey, it's probably time. And they're also showing them where to find those nutrient capsules. Because I would probably be the person who's like, oh my God, what is it? Where do I find it? I can't deal with this, enough. But here they're showing every step of like how to remove it, how to replace it, even before people bought it. Because that puts us at ease as people. We know, okay, this is what to expect. This is how it works. Good, I'm ready to reorder now, or I will be ready to reorder when I definitely see that I need that. So this is, again, wonderful example of those replenishment reminder flows. And to wrap this up, I wanted to touch on leveraging lifecycle segmentation. I will never shut up about lifecycle segmentation because to me is the true mirror of your business, because it leans into the data of your store. What you sold, how your customers behave, and I think it's really helpful to get that bigger view about your business and what can be done, especially from email marketing perspective. So at Omnisend, if you go into your dashboard and you go into audience, you'll see your Omnisend lifecycle map. And using AI, it sifts through your orders in your store and then puts them into categories of sorts, your customers into categories. And in dark green, you have your champions and loyalists. Those are people who are spending money with you and they spend it often. So you want as many people in that section as you can. And then on the other side, you have people who are about to churn, who are unlikely to buy from you again. But I would say pay more attention to can't lose and at-risk people because they used to buy from you or they bought from you, but for some reason they're not coming back. And this is how you can use them, these segments, into your post-purchase flow. So use it as a split in your post-purchase automation, and you can lean into your VIP segment or your loyalists and champions. Again, people who spend money with you and spend it often, you can send upsells to them and cross-sells that are a little bit pricier, or maybe you send them bundles. But because they trust your brand, you don't need to prove your value to them. So that's why those higher prices might not scare them, but they actually take advantage of the good deal because they know it's a good deal. And then when you have those recent purchasers who bought from you for the first or the second time, you still need to, nurture them and bring them into your brand. So you don't want to scare them, but you might still want to upsell them. So you can have a different strategy there. And the way to do it is you'll go into segments, and we have already prepared it for you. You create a high-value subscriber segment. And in your automation, you simply create a split where you either send people to recent customers or you qualify them as your loyalists or your champions or your VIP customers. And then you just build those automations, those workflows based on how those customers and segments are most likely to behave. If you're not sure how to do this, again, contact our customer support team. They will guide you through the setup. And then once you see it, it's all gonna make sense, I swear. Okay, so the tactical toolkit that I promised, and whenever you might feel stuck or you might have, those things in your head being like, something's not working, I'm not sure what. Or you might want to find other ways to increase your revenue, but you feel like you exhausted your welcome emails or your abandoned cart emails, or maybe you made changes there, so you need to give them some time to breathe and for you to get data. So this is something that I would recommend coming back to and just thinking, do I have this? Would my customers appreciate this? Can I A/B test this? So first of all, using cross-channel nudges. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can use push notifications and product abandonment flows, even abandoned carts and checkouts. So it's just complementary to your emails in getting conversions, really. You can use SMS to engage your VIP customers, again, creating those segments if you have their emails, send them exclusive offers, send them exclusive messages after their post-purchase orders, just being like, hey, you just bought from us. How about this bundle? Check it out. So again, if you're not sure how to use push notification, if it sounds too techy, contact our customer support, check out our articles. It's very easy to set up. It's literally 2 clicks and you're good to go. And I find a lot of value in it, especially when it comes to abandoned product flows. Then secondly, as I just mentioned, check out your lifecycle map and just see where your business is at. How would you evaluate that health? And that will help you to identify opportunities. Check if you have some sort of special incentives set up for your VIP customers. Are you actually treating your VIP customers as VIPs? Lean into them. Do not chase those runaways who haven't opened your email 15 last times. And just focus on your VIPs. Or maybe that looks quite healthy to your business. And then lean into at-risk customers and see if you have automation flows set up for them and to win them back as well. And lastly, I definitely recommend adding product recommender to as many automations as it makes sense. Okay, take this opportunity because it's not taking away from your email and it can only bring you positive things, okay? So you can have your standard recommendations of your bestsellers, recent added products, and also have personalized recommendations, as I said, showing products similar to the past purchases of the customer. So this is top customization and personalization. And then, experiment with this. Start with your transaction emails and see where else you can put this. So that is it. Thank you everyone for joining me. I'll give everyone a minute. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Again, you will receive the recording in a couple of days. We will include the slides, all the resources that we have shared. So don't worry if you missed on anything. We will add that. Oh, I see a question. Just before we wrap this up, Veronica, thank you so much for dropping this. Veronica says, we usually use Shopify and I normally use their transactional emails flow in Shopify. Would you recommend to use Omnisend? Yes. And the main reason is not because I work for them, but because you can add those personalizations. And that's where our success cases come from. People just switching from Shopify to Omnisend transactional emails and them adding more personalized items to them. You might need, depending on your plan, you might need assistance from either Shopify or our customer support team. So if you want to make that transition, definitely reach out to your team so we can make sure that everything is set up correctly on both sides. All right, Lars has a question as well. Do you recommend a post-purchase flow with splits for everyone or different ones for different brands or products? Lars, if I remember correctly, you have different brands, different categories as well, right? But awesome, yes. So essentially, I would start small and then branch out. Because if you have lots of SKUs, this could get messy. So in the post-purchase flow, I would always have splits and just depending on your customer, you can experiment with order value and maybe, again, having your loyalists and champions. And you can start there and just suggest people, using Product Recommender, suggest them looking at your bestsellers or what people already looked at, which would make more sense because if you have lots of items, then you'll always be showing something personalized to what they already viewed or bought. Another way to split it is purely by categories, creating splits, being like if someone bought, for example, a rule could be if someone bought from tents, then maybe you want to sell them cross-sales from camping gear. Right? So thinking what's like the next step that would make the most sense in this case based on categories. So it's a little bit of if once you have lots of SKUs and different brands, it could be a little bit of a like mental gymnastics and exercise you have to map out. But I definitely recommend looking at like your internal data because I think it will show you, what those steps could look like. So again, thinking, okay, if someone bought a clothing item, what would, complement that? And then just recommend it based on categories and products. So yeah, definitely use splits because then you're more likely to, recommend the right item. But yeah, it's a mental exercise, but I think it's definitely worth looking into it and just experiment A/B testing there as well. You can start by just splitting it in categories. Maybe within those category flows, set it based on average order value or total order spend as well. So just kind of like start small, don't overwhelm yourself. And once you see, okay, in my top selling category, this is the behavior of my customers, then move on to another one and just see if you can replicate the same logic. Alrighty, any more questions? Thank you, Veronica. Veronica says that makes total sense with lots of categories and products. Exactly. Okay, Veronica's question. from my experience, upsell, cross-sell better in email or on the store? I would say definitely take advantage of both. And it will depend, I would say, on the bigger picture overall. How did the customer find you? If they're finding you for the first time through ads, maybe they are unlikely to buy from you just by looking at the store. So they might come from ads, they don't know your brand, but they like the product that you sell. So they bought the product. And then through emails, you can warm them up to buy other items through cross-sells and upsells. If someone found your brand because they were specifically looking for, thinking about keywords, certain sustainable fashion maybe brand, or they were looking for a specific category of products, and they found your brand, and some people just like certain brands better and instantly, for them that upsell, cross-sell, and store could work better. But if you have both set up, you're definitely more likely to win at one of those, if you know what I mean. If you're if you're on Shopify and you set up all the product recommendations, all bundle recommendations, you have things set up at your checkout, you're already likely to get some people converted and get those items. But then if you also capture them in that post-purchase email, you're even more likely to sell other items as well. So definitely spend more time on both. Without any additional data, it's quite hard to tell how your customers behave. But that would be my recommendation. Definitely exhaust both if you can. Fantastic. No worries. Alrighty, I'm looking at the time. We will wrap this up. Thank you so much for your questions. I really loved it. And good to see people coming back. So again, you will receive the recording in a couple of days. All the slides will be included, all the resources as well. And thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye.